Can I do?
The actual, there's still overhang though. Yeah. And originally,
What are you up to, Rich?
Just de-nailing and de-screwing on this, all good.
It's going to be used.
Safe for firewood or for
to where your left foot is.
Yeah.
Took the words out my mouth, Paul. Measure twice, cut once. That's the golden rule. I don't know. Hammer my nail.
Hi Lee, what stage are we at here?
So at the moment we're starting to build the floor for the bothy. We've got two jobs going on. We've got guys who are taking apart the existing greenhouse so that we can get our own building into the site. And then these guys are currently cutting up lengths of wood that are going to be used to form the floor. So we're going to create essentially a kind of timber ring beam with thicker joists at regular intervals between. We're going to place that on the existing concrete deck and then prop it at intervals and at different corners so that we get the floor level, and then we've got a firm base from which to build the rest of the timber frame.
yeah.
So what are you doing here, chaps?
We are measuring and cutting the floor joists.
Four joists. Taking that one out.
Yeah. All ready for assembly when we've got all the parts ready. Colin's trying to train up with we've got a straight line with a jigsaw. So they're making a jigsaw. Should have let the water run out.
Okay.
This contraption is a ratchet used for putting nuts in.
We're going to start by using this main beam to get a level for the floor. So we've got three pieces of timber bolted together with one long enough so that we can key in the longest sections.
Floor joist.
Yeah. And then there's going to be four of these larger elements which will all be sat on the concrete pads. And then the joists will span between each of these larger beams. And that way we're not relying on a kind of too long a span for the joists. So this should allow us to lift it off the floor, still have quite a sturdy
Needs to
level.
be off the floor for.
Basically just to stop water kind of getting into the wood. I mean, we're not too bad because the floor, well the concrete floor here is on a slope, so the water will kind of run off away from the building, but then that's important. Then we've got this end all lifted off,
So it's good. It's good to have something between the ground and the actual structure itself.
Yeah, it just stops this getting rotten, and over time, you know, you wouldn't notice at first, but in 5-10 years you might start to see the base of this just starting to kind of rot and flake if you had it sat directly on the deck.
Okay. Oh, that looks good. Two slabs and we have it level already.
And move out the board.
No, just get it from there, yeah.
Hey, don't forget that was no straight either, like.
You alright with that, Kate? Matt.
What are you up to, Katie?
360 degrees
Yeah,
good.
all round. You have a
Take this one out because it's kicking, obviously.
You got Stanley in your laptop? There's one in here.
Mr. Levi!
See that angle, look, it's like it's a 20 degree each side, and then you do 15 on the outside.
So that's a carpenter's pencil then?
Yep. No, it's a Ritchie's pencil.
No,
That's an interesting concept. Would you like to share that with us?
Well, when you bricklay, you stagger the bricks so that the joints are sitting half on, half each brick, so the next one's staggered. So basically, what you're doing is you are bricklaying with wood and staggering the joints.
Called a salute at you, well.
No, he's not. No, he's not straight on.
Calling the
He's
most
not
level-headed
straight on.
guy in the project.
He's not level-headed yet.
What's that you're doing?
Put the joist hanger on the line so that the joist is in the middle, and bend it over and attach it. Sit like
What
that.
does that do? That
Holds it up.
and you put these all along,
Yep, nail both sides.
and that
it's in.
holds the floor up eventually.
Eventually it'll hold the floor up. It's
You just up in your bed.
Well, we're placing in dwangs or noggins, as you can call them, in between to provide a bit of extra stability for the floor sheets when we put them in, and also to help pull all the joists together and strengthen everything, so the whole piece comes together and is nice and rigid. And then we'll place insulation in between each of these. So once we've put the insulation in between these bays that we create, before we put a floor deck down, we'll put a vapour control layer, which is essentially a sheet of polythene that stops any moisture from outside coming into the building from underneath, and protects the bottom of the floor.
So that'll be our floor completed.
Yes. What did you measure for this?
Nuggets!
Hi Paula,
Hi.
what are you up to here?
We are insulating the base, so at the moment I'm staple gunning this netting into the frame so that we can then pack these spaces with the insulation material.
Alright. That's to keep people nice and warm in the winter time.
Absolutely, and we'll have the wood burning stove in there, so we don't want to be losing all of that heat. We want it to be nice and efficient. So,
What with the walls, will they be done the same way?
they won't be done the same way. What we're looking at is insulating the walls with old AstroTurf, because we're trying to use as many sort of repurposed materials as possible. So Lee has been working with a group of students at the art school, and they've been testing out different ways of insulating using different materials, and they compared the AstroTurf with more standard new forms of insulation and found, I believe, that it was just as effective, so we're going to go down that route.
And there's lots of this AstroTurf lying around.
Well, yeah, because I think they bring out sort of new, improved types of AstroTurf every few years, and so a lot of the older generation stuff gets ripped up, and I think it's quite expensive to get it all cleaned up and reused in other ways, and so yeah, using it as insulation is going to be quite effective.
Pretty good, thanks.
So we've started putting insulation between the joists, and then the next kind of layer after that is to put what we're calling a vapour control layer. So that stops moisture actually that's produced maybe inside the building as much as outside from getting into the insulation and getting into the timber and getting into the frame. So This membrane is impermeable to moisture, and it will go down over the structural joists, over the insulation, and then we'll put a floor deck over the top of that. Initially we'll probably just put an OSB or a ply floor, and then on top of that we can put a final finish depending on what that might be, and that might be different depending where we are in the building. So it could be a timber floor, it could be a tiled surface that we finish things with.
So we'll have a deck to work on soon.
Yeah, and we'll have a deck to work on. The floor will be kind of safe, secure, insulated, and then we can start putting up the framework for the walls and get ourselves a roof over the top of us, and then we've got some cover for working inside and outside the building.
It's okay, I'm going to stand over there.
Would you like?
Thank you, son. Thank you, son.
Mine's just cold, so I'd like a wee top up if you don't mind.
That is grand. This guy is... Oh,
If you can be bothered, how much on that?
Where's the teaspoon, Lee? Come on, you're lack.
Well, that was a good one.